This is a small clip of a YouTube video with 14 million views.
You probably don't know this about me, but I am actually an Eagle Scout. And to be an Eagle Scout, you have to do Scout stuff like go camping. And there were no cabins at the place. We had to sleep in tents. My first year at camp, my friend TJ and I just met the minimum age requirement to go. And being the good friends that we are, we decided to share a tent for the whole week. It's not weird. We were in the wilderness. We shared for survival.
Why does this video have so many views? It seems super simple. A random little animated guy and a story of something random that happened to this random little animated guy. Whew. Say that 5 times fast. Anyway, he's not really that random of a guy. He's James Rallison or the odd ones out, depending on who you ask, of course. But seriously, what makes this video or this channel have so much more subscribers than other channels just like it? Well, you could probably guess from the title, but this guy is a master storyteller. Now, this took him years to build up his skill, but with these simple tips, you can implement these things into your own videos in a matter of weeks. And if you're really serious, maybe even days. One very simple thing that you can do that James uses very frequently is humor. Now, I don't mean you need to be a comedian like telling jokes. Actually, here, it's hard to explain, so here's an example.
I was looking at this post on the internet and it was where the old memes are today. And for the after picture for the Scumbag Steve meme, it looked exactly like my roommate, who I'll just make up a fake name for, Steve for convenience. I'm pretty sure I was roommates with a meme. Just put a fedora on this meme and boom, that's my roommate, Steve.
See, that's an extremely simple joke, but even though it is so simple, it adds a funny visual to this roommate character, and it helps you to relate to the situation better because now you have at least some sort of idea what this guy looked like in your head. See, he honestly could have just said, my roommate Steve, and then just continued on with the story, but it wouldn't be as in-depth or as relatable. Basically, if you're able to relate to your audience by using more common terms or everyday scenarios, and if you use a little bit of comedy, it can help them to become more immersed into your video. Imagine that you're having a conversation with a 5-year-old. It could be a brother, a cousin, nephew, whatever. Now, if you start talking to him about, complex mathematical equations or the economy, he's not going to really understand and he's going to get bored and not interested in the conversation. But if you talk to him about, monster trucks and dinosaurs, these are things that he's familiar with. He's going to be a lot more focused on the conversation. Basically, since he understands what you're talking about, he's going to pay a lot more attention. Boom. That right there is exactly what I am talking about. I just used a common scenario that almost everyone has done before and used it as a way to elucidate or help you to understand my point. The main goal is to make viewers invested in your video, so they want to watch the whole thing. And an incredibly easy way to do that is to become more relatable and immerse them into the story. And you can immerse them one step further by playing the part. If your story contains multiple different characters, try to give them different voices, or at least speak with the emotion that they're feeling in the story. Here, this is a good example. Here's James talking about getting calls from a wrong number.
So I answered it, and it was this woman asking for a Lawrence. And I said, "Oh, I'm not, you have the wrong number." And she goes, "Isn't this 416295? That's obviously not a real number, so don't try calling it. And I said, "No, this is 416293, because that's my phone number." Again, that's not actually a valid phone number, so please don't call it. And she goes, "3? I don't think I pressed 3. And I don't know what to say to this woman, because my number is 416293. It's really not. But she doesn't think she pushed 3, so I don't know how she's talking to me right now. Unless she did. So I said, well, obviously, you did. And then I made a comic about the whole situation because I thought the internet would think it was funny.
So with this example, even though he's not changing his voice that much between the male and the female characters, he is changing his tonality and emotion. The male character stutters and speaks with confusion because he got a wrong number, and the female character speaks a little slower and with a little bit more skepticism because she doesn't think she called the wrong number. These very tiny details in your voice can make all the difference in how people perceive your video. There's very high budget movies that have horrible acting and are box office flops, but there's very low budget movies that have incredible acting and they're smash hits. Now, you can make videos and tell stories all day, but the viewer's not really going to get anything out of it unless there's some sort of overall lesson or teaching. Seriously, think of any book or movie you've ever read or watched. There is always some sort of lesson that the characters or the watchers learn. A perfect example is Rocky. Never give up, work hard for the things that you want, and when you're presented with a golden opportunity, take it. And even The Love Guru, which is really not considered to be a good movie, but it still teaches you to be humble and to not take yourself too seriously. If you want to improve your storytelling to an incredible level, you need to learn how to blend seriousness with triviality. What I mean is basically you can have a comedy video, but there has to be some sort of level of seriousness to actually connect with the audience. Every good story has some sort of resolution, whether that be the Avengers finally defeating Thanos, or the odd ones out teaching the very serious consequences of gambling.
No matter how many times you win the jackpot, if you spend enough time in a casino, you will always lose. Ever hear the phrase, "the house always wins"? That's because they have the mathematical advantage and computers who cheat. Gambling is not an investment. It's not a way to pay off your debts. It is entertainment. If done responsibly and in a social setting, gambling is absolutely fine to indulge in. And if you get upset that you lost all your money, what did you think was going to happen?
Right there, he makes an entire, essentially comedy video about gambling in casinos, but he ties the whole story together with a more serious and informative resolution. The main thing I want you to get out of this video is to think as if you are the viewer. Try to relate to them with humor, but also connect with them on a deeper level with things that make them really think and teach them something useful. Relate to them with humor, immerse them with a great performance, and teach them with something helpful. That's about it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.